Welcome to Living Magically. I'm your host, Magical Michelle, and as we have been watching, we have yet another really intense week. But this week, hallelujah, I'm throwing a party because all planets are now direct. And this happens like maybe once a year, not every year. It hasn't happened since May of last year. And there is like a sigh of relief, especially from the Mercury retrograde. We had a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which I had a lot of people making big reviews of their life and maybe are still making reviews of their life, because even though it has gone direct, it is still not moving forward like at a fast pace. So it takes 2 weeks to like fully station. So we call that the Mercury shadow period. So even though we have everything going direct, there's still sort of a little bit of a pause. We're in this liminal space where we had the spring equinox, which is a whole weekend really, where the day and the night are the same amount of time. So we're still in that very slow movement toward high growth season. We're in high growth season. We're in all planets direct, but it's not like a fast, like, okay, everything's gonna change. This is the 0 point and the 1 degree points of Aries in most of these signs. And we're leading up to a very powerful alignment that's happening on April 17th, where there's 7 planets going to be in Aries at the same time. So this is really going to take a little bit of a slow burn. So Aries season is like the spice, the spark has been lit. We're out of that water energy, but we're still a little bit unclear. It's a very, like, think wet wood, right? We're not quite there yet. In fact, I had people saying to me, it still feels like we're in Mercury retrograde. And it will. It's not like everything's going to suddenly magically be perfect. We're going to still be trying to get our little wobbly feet under our ground. And it'll feel a little bit better once we get into Taurus season, because then we'll have some earth with all this fire and water to stabilize us. Let's talk about what's happening. So we have all these planets going direct. We're in Aries season, and we have been doing the Phoenix fire, and we're now in that rebirth stage where we're lit up, right? We're starting to think about the future. We're starting to think about what's possible. We're in the planting season of the growth season. We have the soil ready. We're getting our seeds. We've made our decisions for what we're trying to do, but we're still probably doing a little bit of gardening. We're still trying to get the weeds out from the past. You don't suddenly become something else. We've been in this end season for so long. It's like we halted to a different direction, and it's not like we're already this new thing. In the becoming, we're still stripping away everything that was part of our old identity. So it's a spring cleaning time. It's taking care of yourself time. It's putting up boundaries for the new authentic version of you. And people may not like it. You might have made a major decision in your life on what direction you're going, or you might be getting ready to make that decision. And this is that part of the year where you're having to put it into motion, where you're having to tell people, where you're having to take action. So there is a moment of action, but this week you can also be in a little bit of a rest period, almost like, okay, I made it through the gauntlet and now I need to rest. In fact, I did nothing but rest yesterday. I was like, my feet are toast. So I just put my feet up and I took a deep breath, and I actually didn't get on social media at all, and I read a book. Sometimes that's the best forward motion you can possibly have. But if suddenly all of your clothes seem wrong, or suddenly all of your belongings feel like they belong to someone else, we have changed timelines. You have probably changed identities. And there is a lot going on in the world. So on the same note, if your nervous system feels rough, if you're like, I just don't know how to feel, I am anxious about what's going on the planet, everything doesn't feel right yet, that's okay too. And I want you to, I'm going to invite you, I don't want you to do anything, but I'm going to invite you to do this piece where you just feel into the version of you that's ready to unravel. This I am becoming version of you. And don't try and force anything for a couple of days. This week isn't going to be best if you force things. It is best if you allow things. We're looking for the synchronicities. Now that everything is direct, it's a good time to pray. It's a good time to align with the version of yourself that's becoming. It's a good time to be like, the version of me that's wanting to show up likes to wear this kind of clothes. The version of me that's showing up likes to do a different kind of art than they used to do. Likes to hang out at a different cafe than it used to. So if you feel like you're different, don't try and put it back together like you are the same. And this is really important. This version of you does things different. This version of you might want to spend different time with different people. This version of you may not even be something you recognize in the mirror. But what I am going to invite you to do is lean into the version you love. I was just on the phone with a client before I got onto this. And one of the things that we talked about was, she was like, in this world of overwhelm, how do I make a decision of how to find my magic and how to find my whimsy? And I had such a profound feeling of, that's what everybody is trying to do right now, is there is a lot to take care of. And so you're never going to get through that list and have enough time. There's going to have to be a prioritization. So Aries season is a great time for checklists. It's a great time for saying, well, these are the 3 things I have to get done. And this is the one thing I want to do for myself. So finding a place for magic and whimsy is going to be so important to us right now. And so I've invited myself to read more books. I've invited myself to watch less TV and read more books. I've invited myself to create an art station in my living room, so that when I feel that I need to take a break, I can do a little crafty thing. So what is it that helps you reset your nervous system? What is it that brings you a little bit of joy? There's trinket box trades in Orlando. And so I've been doing trinket box trades on my way to work. There's the Urban Ashram. And I do invite everybody down to the Urban Ashram. We're doing wonderful things there. My Living Magical membership is having a cacao ceremony for Ostara this evening. Today is Monday the 23rd. So if you're watching this live and you want to pop down to the Urban Ashram, we're going to have intention setting ceremony and heart opening with cacao. Next week we'll have Patrick, and we'll be doing another Egyptian oil temple. So we're trying to bring things that brings us joy and whimsy and create community, togetherness, and things that open our heart and create harmony. What is it that you can find that brings a little harmony? But anyway, on my way to that, there's this little trinket box that I stop at, and I exchange my ducks because I have a Jeep. So I like to give a duck, get a duck. But they have bracelets and stickers. And I just find that even if it's 5 minutes in my day to stop for a little bit of whimsy, it matters. It so matters. And acts of unconditional kindness. We were at Magick this weekend, and what I loved about it was people were giving away things. They were giving away bracelets or little tokens or tickets to go, like stickers that go on the bottom of your name tag. So in this case, people were giving things away for the act of joy. So what kind of little acts of kindness can you do that brings yourself joy and brings joy to others? That is going to go so far right now with this energy. And also, create a plan. Create a plan for what energetically you're trying to create in this 6 weeks. You have 6 full weeks all the way through the end of April before the planets are out of sync again. And with that, that means there's going to be a full moon. Their next full moon is going to be one for manifesting because of this no planets in retrograde. The next new moon is going to have 7 planets in the same sign of Aries, which will be a huge beginning point. And so think about what you want to align. So if it doesn't feel aligned, let go. If it feels aligned, put the seed into the ground. This is planting season. Do one little act toward it every day. Maybe if you're trying to clean up your house, just take 15 minutes and just clean up your house. Maybe if you're trying to learn a new skill, you take 15 minutes. So in that 6 weeks, you have enough time to create a habit. You have enough time to create momentum. And the year of the fire horse is about setting that spark and creating momentum. So all this fire in the fire horse energy, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. We'll never see anything like this again in our lifetime. And there might be other once in a lifetime planetary alignments, but seriously, I've been watching astrology for over 15 years. And really the things that are happening right now are very unique and very much a pivot point that we'll talk about in history, maybe hundreds of years from now. And while we may not be able to control what's happening on the big picture of the whole wide world, we can hold energy for ourselves. So creating unity, peace, alignment in your own life has a ripple effect out into the rest of the world. I absolutely guarantee it. So finding unity, peace, forgiveness, and acceptance in your own heart toward yourself and toward the people that are immediately around you, finding that peace, finding that balance is exactly what this season is all about. And if you need a little bit of help to do that, I am, of course, opening my books. I have some space for our Design Your Destiny program. I have 2 people that just finished that opens up my books for 2 new people for Design Your Destiny. So if this seems like the time where you are ready to take a serious step towards your future, toward creating the life you've always been meant to lead, send me a reach out and we'll have a little chat and we'll plan for your destiny to be inevitable. Because what we're looking for is to create certainty. We're looking to let go of the trauma, the past, the what ifs, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, so that you can be in alignment to the version of you that you are becoming. And I'm seeing huge breakthroughs with my clients right now. So if this is your time to work with me, I invite you to reach out right now. I have just enough space for a couple more people. As a couple are graduating, it's time for opening up some space. And that might be that if you think I'm talking to you, then I am. So I'm putting out the call. If you've been waiting and you've been just on the edge of, Should I work with Magical Michelle? This is your answer. Yes, you should. This is your time. This is your time to commit to yourself. And I'm going to say this whether you're working with me or not. I invite this week to be a moment where you make a sacred commitment to make at least one intentional change in this 6 weeks. This is a sweet spot, and even though the world may seem like it is on fire, I'm going to invite you to use that fire to light a match in your own life. Make a sacred commitment to something in your own personal life that you can change. To take that quantum leap, to make that sacred step, to bring yourself into a place where you're going to commit to the slight actions, one step at a time, into the version of you that aligns with the version you're becoming. The version of you that wants something, that desires something, already lives in the quantum field. And so I invite, this is the week. This is the week to make that commitment. This is the week to take small baby steps or quantum leaps toward the version you're becoming. So use this energy. Take a deep breath. This is a good time for journaling, a good time for intentions, and a good time for seeing what is in alignment for you and making those moves toward the version of you you've always wanted to be. And one last thing I'm going to say is, if you've been like, well, I've never been able to do it before, why would I be able to do it now, Michelle? I'm going to say, this is the time. Because I'm going to say, up until now, astrologically, maybe all those things have been rehearsals. Maybe all of those things have been experiments. You are a different person now, and so is the world. The world is moving into a new field. There's solar flares, there's electromagnetic things shifting. The actual Gaia, the planet, is changing. The solar system is changing. The sun is creating waves of transformation, and the astrology, the planets are lining up for it too. So if you've been like, well, maybe this is my time, I'm telling you it is. So if you feel that inside of you, let that burn. Let that become the flame of the year of the fire horse that causes the momentum. Instead of looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I should have, I would have, I could have. Be proud of yourself and take the step toward the future you're ready to create right now. This actually is one of those sweet spots. 6 weeks of no planets in retrograde and so many planets mostly in Aries, 0 or 1 degree. This is the set point. This is the new beginning. This is what we've been waiting for, my friends. And there is an opportunity in it. And so I invite you to take that opportunity. I invite you to create something huge and momentous. I invite you to take the little bit of a scary step sometimes, but I do invite you to make this time yours. And Aries is a little bit selfish. So if you feel like it's taking your own energy back from where it's been scattered, that might also be important to do if it feels a little bit selfish, because this is for you and maybe other people want something else, but this is what you've always known you need to do in your heart, and there is a step to take. This is the time. So align with yourself. Stop looking outside of yourself. Look inward. Look into the God self that is within you, the God essence, the goddess, the energy of the divine that lives in your body, in your mind, in your heart. And what you know to be true in your heart, take that step. Make that sacred commitment to yourself. Make that joyous opportunity to return to who you were always meant to be. This is the time. So I invite you to reach out. If you want to have a conversation on how I can help you with that, please do that. If you have something that you've been meaning to do and there's just always something in the way, there's no planets in the way now. No reason to have an excuse other than do it now. Because if you've been like, well, this is in the way, that's in the way, I'm going to tell you something. A year from now, there's always going to be a reason. 2 years from now, there's always going to be a reason. What I don't want you to do is look back and say, if I had started in March or April of 2026, look how far I would be. This is a moment in time, and I want you to take that risk, take that leap of faith, take that step. We've got it right here, right now, and everything is in alignment and harmony to open those doors. So take that step, open the door, and make that sacred commitment to yourself. And remember, as always, I love you. Live magically.